Hey, peace, world. Thanks for pressing play on another Pay Me No Mind sports and entertainment video. My name is Wood. Told you, Happy New Year. Was trying a couple of things a little differently. There we go, right there. Just wanted to make sure something was going right. Um, so this is kind of a test episode, but or a test live stream, but it's the normal, topic that I will cover today, either on Sunday nights or wow. Either on Sunday nights or Monday night when I get around to it. Actually, last night was a big deal for me because my Washington football team had the Sunday night football in America, whatever, Sunday night in America football, whatever it's called, Sunday night football, and got the big win on the controversial, pool of Jalen Hurts. But my team came through. We go to the playoffs and face Tom Brady. Anyway, let me jump into this. I got like 6 points from last night's part 5 for the for your honor on Showtime Sunday nights. I don't know what time it comes on. I watch it on demand. But one thing that I thought was interesting at the end of this week's episode was they didn't really do a trailer for next week's episode or a tease. They did they kind of like showed us what was going to happen over the final 5 episodes of the season. I thought that was pretty dope because last night ratcheted things up quite nicely for fans of the show. So that's why I'll get into my 6 different my 6 major takeaways from the show. As you can see with the down there at the bottom, that the ops are really becoming too big for the judge. That's Walter White. Walter White. I got a note here for Walter White, but that's Bryan Cranston, who's playing Judge Michael Desiato. So let's get to it. I'm gonna talk about one thing about the judge. We find out this week that one of the loose ends I mentioned a couple of weeks ago came back in a major way from the driver at the gas station when his son Adam stopped to get some gas after hitting Rocco Baxter, hitting and killing Rocco Baxter. We also have Lee Delamere and Jimmy Baxter are both working towards the truth in their different ways and for their different motivations, obviously. Actually, both of them are trying to do something redeeming a little bit or for justice, I guess, in a weird way. I'll get to that in just a second. Also, we see that Big Mo emerges as the leader and the brains of Desire. That's the female who leads the gang. We really haven't seen her to this point. I saw her in the credits for another episode, but I don't really remember her. But I might have, I could have went up and got something out of the fridge or something. But we see exactly what kind of a leader she is, and how she interacts with the troops and whatnot, and what her game is, honestly, or what her game is about. There was also this flirty chat between Adam and Fia Baxter. Is weird because one, he should be avoiding the Baxter family at all costs. But Fia actually acts normal while interacting with Adam. And then Adam also, is involved romantically with his teacher, Franny. So what's going on here? The other thing is little man, as they keep referring to him, Eugene, is part of the team now. He's on the team and he's approved by Big Mo and going places in the organization. And then lastly, the store owner immediately gives up the judge once Jimmy Baxter and his right-hand man come into the store. So jumping back to the judge, we find out early in this episode as he starts receiving text messages while he's in court, once again, helping out another brother. But he starts getting these text messages from a burner phone that's been placed in his desk by this unknown person at the time. And he receives a few text messages before, and the judge, shuts down or gets a pause in what's going on after picking up on the fact that this person knows who he is, knows what's happening, and is asking for some money. $222,000 to be exact. So judge needs to get out of court really quickly and locate his son and get to work on how to address such a large number. I mean, the man makes some decent money, but nearly $250,000 for anybody is going to be pretty difficult to come by. And you see that well, we'll get into that in just a second. But it's almost so he spends some of the time earlier in the show, earlier in the episode, trying to find his son, and then or make sure that he's safe. That it wasn't a kidnapping situation. It's just extortion. Later in the episode, well, he goes to figure. Once he does locate his son, once Adam comes home from meeting with Fia, and he knows he's safe, now he has to go work on getting his money together. And at the end of the episode is why I mentioned Walter White, because we kind of get a Walter White-ish type moment where the judge tries to stand up to the caller, telling him on the burner phone that he didn't really believe him. He thinks he's bluffing, and he really doesn't have to go along with his demands because he's not really holding anything. And the guy kind of trolls him back, sends him a text message immediately that says proof, LOL, and then hits him up with the video that he already deleted the store footage, but now this person has footage from him sitting in his car observing Adam pumping gas at the gas station. Who Baxter and his right hand man makes it to at the end of the episode. So that's what's going on with the judge this episode. It was interesting that there was no Charlie this week. We didn't see the mother-in-law again. We didn't see Detective Costello. We didn't see a couple of people that we'd seen for a couple of episodes in a row. It's like it shifted over to the Desire crew a little bit with Big Mo. Number 2, Lee Delamere and Jimmy Baxter, like I said, are both working towards the truth. Really wasn't sure where Lee was going to go based on the fact that Kofi is dead. She could very well just walk away from this thing, but she wants to do the right thing. She wants some answers. And, she's kind of heavily invested in what took place to land Kofi in jail and why he never made it out alive, especially when she has up for him for the charges to be dropped and for him to go free. So she wants answers. She's going around. She visits Eugene, who's on his new post, now that his family is gone. And she gets him off the corner for a minute, and they go have lunch, and she's trying to talk to him to help her out because she needs to get this authorization for a second autopsy or independent autopsy. So she's working that. Later on in the episode, she ends up having a visit with Kofi's biological father, who has no interest in getting involved because he doesn't want any smoke with the street gang. And he said an interesting thing that, if you're in the game, then you're dead. You're already dead. And that's basically the truth of what happened to Kofi. Even as likable and as quick-witted as the kid was, just a simple situation led to him being taken out at a very young age. Jimmy Baxter he's working towards the truth because he wants to make sure that the person that killed his son really pays for it. Now that he's went and killed, now that he's ordered the death of the mother and the three other babies in the house, when he thought that he was paying back Kofi, who's already dead. So he had to go add insult to injury. Or was an injury to insult? I haven't heard that one in a while. Um, but as after he gets this visit from my third point, which was Big Mo emerges as the leader, we see Big Mo at this gathering, for the family. Apparently she paid for the funerals of Kofi and Eugene's mother and the two or three other kids that lived in the house that the Baxter organization blew up. She paid for all of that. And she actually orders Little Mo. I don't know what their relationship is at this point, Big Mo and Little Mo, but she's disappointed in Little Mo's handling of the situation and demands him and Little Mo runs down some things, telling him the chain of events that led to his brother getting arrested and why, and I guess maybe he tried to make this move on his own without consulting Big Mo. And she's like, the car didn't even need to be stolen. We paid a man $5,000 a week. The police officer or the detective, the go between for Desire and Charlie. I don't remember that officer's name, but she's like, we pay this man $5,000 a week for him to stay out of our business. And so we didn't need to go steal that car and get involved in something that had nothing to do with us. Little Mo thought, I help you out, you help me out, you look the other way, so on and so forth. So Big Mo barges in over to the Baxter Hotel / restaurant and confronts because she was in a tough spot. Like they could try to go to war and retaliate to the Baxter family, but oftentimes too much noise is bad for everybody's business. So she went and tried to go about the diplomatic way, and she gives this timeline that many of us who've been watching the show are all waiting for, or have been waiting for, because it goes back to Cusack, who, even though he wasn't turning this case in pretty much for whoever he reports to, he was acting on behalf or carrying out his duties while being on the Baxter payroll. And he went in turn, gave him some bad information. And Baxter is like, this is unacceptable because this is the death of my son. I want to know who really did it. I don't care about your clearance and all of this other stuff. This involved my son, and you got us making decisions based on the information you've given us, and the information was bad. And this doesn't go away just because the young kid is gone, who we all know Carlo took out. And it's funny when Cusack comes over there because once he understands that there was some bad information that led to his confrontation with Kofi and him killing Kofi. Now he knows that he killed an innocent man, and he did a little deep swallow or whatever when he heard that information, and he has his blood on his hands now. But like Kofi's father said, if you're in the game, you're dead already. So it was somehow or another, it was going to happen. So maybe I would imagine that Carlo moves on from that pretty quickly. You can see him and his team were sitting at the table, or him and his crew with Chet Hanks, Joey M. He's trying to get into his own side hustle with selling drugs. So he's got that going on and trying to get back involved in the game now that he's a free man. But Big Mo says, Kofi was arrested on the 10th, and he went and stole the car on the 10th and was arrested on the 10th. And he said, your son was killed on the 9th. So your whole timeline is messed up. And, you went and killed this family for no reason. She said you blew up. She said something about you had time to go visit whatever Kofi's mother's name was, something Jones, and her 3 babies, and kill those people for no reason. Also, what comes out of this meeting when they call Cusack onto the carpet, he delivers a flash drive that has the 911 call on there from when the kid Adam initially went to call to get some help for Rocco, who was passing away, bleeding out, going into shock, the whole 9. And from here, Gina gets to listening to this and puts it all together that this wasn't Rocco on the phone, but this was the person in all likelihood that struck Rocco and who killed him, and didn't do anything to get him in any help. Not like it would have changed the end result, most likely, but still, she's pissed off because now she puts the sounds together and understands that this person left. The 911 operator called back to the cell phone, and this person was out getting some gas. And so with the timeline coming together, we're also, it's just creating all of these loose ends that I was talking about from episode 1 or part 1. So Big Mo does something kind of brash and spits her toothpick out on their table. Now that I've gotten y'all straightened out, and you know how foul you were for how you handled it, let me get on up out of here and leave my people alone. We don't have any further dealings regarding this matter. So then we also get going to this flirty chat between Adam and Fia Baxter, who meet at this cafe where Adam is preparing for his interview with NYU for photography or whatever, to go away for school. He's moving on with his life too. But Fia recognizes him from the vigil for her brother, and she goes over to the table, and this really friendly conversation breaks out. And this is the one person, she doesn't know it, but this is the person that's killed her brother. But this is the only person that she has some kind of a connection with, and acts, like a young lady around. And Adam is kind of digging her too, but he stopped short of giving her his last name, knowing what their true connection is, and that he's killed her brother accidentally or whatever. But he was the cause of it. So that whole exchange, sets up. So I'm sure this comes back because with him not giving her his name, I'm sure she's gonna overhear something either being around her parents or her father once they start discussing how to handle the judge and the son. Now that they're gonna put all that together at some point, I'm sure Adam is gonna be mentioned in her presence or something. And what does she do? How far does their relationship go over the next couple of episodes? Getting to little bro Eugene, like I said, he's part of the team. He got tested by Big Mo after that confrontation, or after the chat or the discussion between Lil Mo, Big Mo, and Eugene that was in the kitchen. When Lil Mo explains everything that went wrong, they go out and sit on the porch. She shares something, kind of how she got into the game and what happened. They have this similar thing with how her parents how she became to be on her own at a young age too. So they have that connection. She leaves a bankroll in the chair before she leave, as she's leaving out to go return to the other guests and whatnot. And of course, Eugene, before he walks off, he realizes that it's this big wad, this big roll of money in the chair, and thinks it through. Is this a test or what is it? And he goes to tell her in front of she's down or out in by the barbecue grill or whatever, out in the yard talking with the other members of Desire, and he comes up and interrupts everybody and gives her the money back in front of them. And that elevates him, and kind of proves his loyalty and whatnot. So he's accepted in. Also, you can see the next day they got him working. They got him on the corner, so to speak, or wherever they sell from. And that's when Lee Delamere pulls up and pulls him off the corner to have a discussion about what she's trying to do in clearing Kofi's name. And you can kind of see Eugene, he's kind of a good kid. I mean, he's not fully hardened and fully indoctrinated into the streets just yet. So, he comes back over to thank her for lunch. And then he gives up the fact that, they didn't have the same dad. They don't have the same biological father. And evidently off camera, he gives Lee the location of where Kofi's dad is before she goes over there to get disappointed. But obviously she got what she wanted, because they showed the autopsy taking place. That was kind of gruesome. That they take a trash bag and put the brain and the heart or whatever back in the chest cavity and sew it all up. Like he was opening up. He was just going through Kofi's body like, it was the motherboard or something, for an old computer, and just tearing out the spare parts. And, he's like, this brain right here tells us everything that we want to know. And obviously it's going to point to the fact that, there was some kind of head trauma or something or whatever. It didn't have anything to do with whatever toxicology report that probably would have never come back to say anything. It would have just been left as an open issue, most likely. Later on, Little Mo also shows Eugene, kind of how much Desire is taking care of him, looking out for him. He shows him his room, makes the crack about the thread count, and just tells him that, you're with us now. And, so long as you do good work and do what you're told and, stay sharp, get smarter in the game, you can stay here as long as you want. So he's got a new family. The last thing, the store owner. I don't know if that was episode 2, I believe, maybe 3, but I think it was 2, when Michael, the judge, goes and tracks the owner down and follows him out to his watering hole and makes up some lie. I knew this was going to come back to bite him. But once Jimmy Baxter and his right-hand man show up, they're actually they put it together quickly that there were only 3 gas stations in the area based on where that cell phone, where the last ping was on the tower. The first one was kind of funny because they go to the bigger store, Jimmy and his right-hand man, and they have a picture, the newspaper with the judge. It's a split photo between the judge and Kofi, and he says, have you seen this kid right here? And she looks at it and was like, you're kidding me, right? Like, I see a million young black dudes daily. I have no idea if I may have seen him back on October the 9th. So I thought that was kind of funny. But they get to the right store and they show the store owner, who Michael did have share some drinks with and had to talk about Lewis Cohen or whatever, the singer, and the lie that he ran on him, that he was just trying to find some footage about the guy who was sleeping with his wife. He deleted that, which was really his son, filling up or getting some gas. So he got rid of the the footage, but I just told you that the driver has his own footage. The interesting thing was because earlier in the show, we are things do kind of get de-escalated a little bit, that we realize that this person is trying to extort him really isn't a killer. It's just this opportunistic person who really, isn't going to kidnap Adam, and do anything over the top. This is probably somebody that he can reason with, even though he packed the 38 special to go meet with them. But this is probably somebody that he can deal with. There's no threat of violence or the person coming from a bigger organization, so on and so forth. But he does have that video. The store owner, I don't even know if he knew he's clueless, and it totally ignores the kid and Kofi in the newspaper that he's been shown, and he just gives up the judge immediately, thinking that he's kind of like sticking up for the judge or something, but he's divulging everything and completely putting them on to the fact that the judge is probably involved here, and now they have to turn their attention to him because it had to be a big reason why he deleted the footage. So, I mean, it's only going to take a little bit of time to put two and two together to understand that he's trying to protect his son. And that's kind of what we'll be getting in through. Well, that is what we'll be getting through over the next 4 to 5 episodes. And like I said, it sets it up for an interesting second half of the season. And they have it now, I think, as a limited series. So I think it will just be, in all likelihood, these 10 episodes. But who knows? I mean, the ratings were pretty good through the first week or two. So maybe there's some way to do something if they feel the need to extend it. But again, I think these one-off or standalone seasons are kind of becoming increasingly popular as the numbers do well. And we'll see what happens. But obviously, the judge is up against it a little bit because he doesn't know what the Baxters are finding out. He's over here concentrating on dealing with this new threat that's really nothing. I mean, he got to do something with this money and whatnot, but that's something that can be fixed. But the Baxters want blood, most likely. And it's not he was just protecting his son, but now that the word is out, I mean, now his life is endangered as well. And that Adam is already kind of not following along the way that he needs him to. So they're in this thing pretty tough. And like I said, he has the little 38 that he keeps in the the lockbox and whatnot. He's getting ready to deal. He's getting ready to be dealing with some real killers and ruthless killers. And I would imagine that he's got to step up whatever fight he can muster to try to make it out of this situation. He needs to be getting on a plane, though. He needs to be getting on a plane and getting somewhere and trying to figure out what they can do, or go turn himself and his son. Because the legal part of it is the least of his worries at this point, in all honesty. But yeah, he needs to start packing and get on a plane or a boat and shut it down, because it's pretty done data for him moving forward. Especially once it's already set in motion with Jimmy Baxter, and what the store clerk just told him. So that's about it, man. We'll see what happens. Anyway, appreciate anybody that comes back and checks this out. Let me know what you think, what's going on with the show. Is it is it heating up for you? Has it plateaued for you? Any thoughts on what the next moves are? We got 5 episodes left, so I would think that they gotta slow it down a little bit or it's gonna hit that lull in there for all of these shows. If you watch enough of them, if it's 10 to 12 episodes, you know they got to slow things down. You know, and it's with the truth kind of being revealed at this point. You know, things could pick up very, very quickly. So it'll be interesting to see what the pacing is for the rest of the season, for the balance of the show, or the balance of the season. Anyway, like I said, man, my name is Wood. Appreciate any likes, shares, comments, so on and so forth. New subscribers, all of that. Pay me no mind, sports and entertainment. You don't have to be great to start, but you have to start to be great. Peace.